Hello everyone, welcome to the future. This is where we will help you define, shape and establish a sustainable future. My name is Kelvin and I'll be your host for today. As today's climate change ambassador, welcome to the Future Talk Show. Kindly introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, this is Anne Okello, the Climate Change Ambassador and the founder of Sustainable Innovation YouTube channel, creating awareness on climate change and mitigation measures within the region.
Thank you very much, and kindly expound to us much about Sustainable Innovation.
Wow, Sustainable Innovation is a very vibrant YouTube channel which is creating awareness within the region on issues to do with climate change, giving indicators on what can show you that the impact of climate change is real, where they're happening, and the possible mitigation measures within the area, what you need to do to help you fight climate change and reclaim the lost glory of our nature.
A lot of people right now are asking themselves, who is Anne?
Anne Okello? Wow, I even don't know who I am sometimes.
Just give us your professional background check.
Okay, professionally, I'm an environmentalist, studied, and those are very many things. But what I know is that I'm an environmentalist with passion in climate change. I've studied everywhere, have both local and international experience, but I've been able to really bring down all those experience to have real impact on the community where I'm serving. As somebody who has real interest in climate change issues, there's no way you can be able to be working on climate change and bringing out real-time solutions without the involvement of youth. I have real passion on youth empowerment and how we can be able to involve youth in fighting climate change, since they own our future.
Our topic of discussion today is going to be climate change and the youths. Kindly explain to us what climate change is for our audience.
Okay, in climate change is the trafficked long-time drift in weather patterns and temperature. For example, if it rains, it pours, and if it shines, it burns. So these two kind of drifting temperatures is clear indication of that there's a real impact in our environment and something needs to be done. So as you are watching, look at that within your region. When it rains nowadays, what happens? Within a minute it floods. And when the sun starts to shine, what is happening next? It burns and nobody wants to feel it. Those are things we need to let you know that there's a real problem in our environment. And those are the indicators, simple ones, about the impact of climate change.
Given that our topic today is we have much emphasis on the youths, kindly tell us why should I as a youth care about climate change?
That's really interesting. As a youth, you are the people who own our future. And you really need to take care of this environment because it is the only one you have. Do you have any other environment or any other earth somewhere which you hope to use after destroying this one?
Of course not.
If you don't have, then you really have an opportunity to take care of what you have. Let me give you a critical example. Maybe your grandfather, before you were born, I imagine how many acres of land did they own?
A lot.
Maybe 100 acres of land.
Yes.
But as they continue to grow, the population continue to grow. And when the population continue to grow and the size of the land remains the same, what happens? The land continue to shrink while the number of people are getting high. What are you going to do with your children? When you give birth now, what are you going to where are you going, your children going to live? When you have only 1 acre of land and you are 7 in your family, especially boys, who by virtue need to share this piece of land. When you share it, you're going to get a very small piece. What about your children? Assume that 1 piece of land used to give your family 10 bags of maize. Now, because of the change in weather pattern, the same piece of land cannot be able to feed the same family it used to feed. Remember, there's population outburst. Now you need to start changing. The space has gone small, the population has grown up, the food is less. What is this leading us to? A very big cycle of problems. That is why youth need to look at climate change with a very small lens and take real action, because we are getting old by the day, but they are going to suffer most if they don't take action.
And thank you for talking about this, because I was going to ask you the next question about the challenges that youths are facing when it comes to climate change. And I don't know if you can really give us other indicators to reflect on this.
Other indicators that we need to look into. When you look at other things happening, the emergence of new pests and diseases. Now, sometimes back here, we have locust infestation, something which never used to happen. What has made that to happen? Either the shift in temperature and weather pattern. The temperatures become so conducive for this kind of things to thrive. Things like invasive species. You are from the Lake Victoria region. You are seeing our lake is full of water hyacinth. Why is that happening there? The temperature and nutrient content in the water has become so rich as a result of the impact of climate change. There's pollution in the lake. Now, such kind of things are thriving. Our people used to get food in the lake. Youth used to run after finishing maybe a little bit of high school. They're sure of fish in the lake. Nowadays, I'm assuring you that there's no fish in that lake. Whatever is there is very, very minimal and cannot support the population. So these are indicators that if you see emergence of new diseases, emergence of pests, and when drought is long, let us know that there's a problem within the system and action needs to be taken.
I know part of this, there is also another problem about landlessness and how this is, can you explain to us how this is affecting the youth when it comes to climate change?
You're very right. Youths have the biggest problem. However much passionate they are, they own our future, but they don't have a say over the land. Culturally, we are Luos. When a child is born and is a male, technically is entitled to land. But do you know it's just by word of mouth that those youths are being entitled to land? Let us reach a situation whereby a youth has just cleared his high school or has even graduated and has documents. He's really passionate about farming. When he gets back home and wants to do this farming, request the parents that now can you give me my allocation so that I start farming. No parent is ready because they don't even trust their own youths. They'll not even be given land. The youth is dying with this information, with this knowledge, and cannot be able to access this land. If this youth goes to this government, these banks, I really have a very good idea and I would wish to be supported. The bank or financial institutions will require collateral. Does a youth have any collateral apart from his academic papers, which still not have values because there is no work experience? They have nowhere to go. So in this situation, youths are remaining in a very vulnerable situations, and they have to be very innovative to make sure that they survive in this volatile system that they have found themselves into.
Kindly just give us some of the solutions that are in place to be able to aid in curbing these situations.
According to me, there are some very few innovations. Actually, that is where sustainable innovation comes in. You need to watch that channel because it has all those innovative ideas that youths can tap into to help them fight climate change, increase their household income, and be fully empowered. One of the innovations that youth can be able to use is the vertical farming. The land is small, but they can use a very small piece of land to do vertical farming. From this vertical farming, they'll be able to earn income, and from there they can be self-employed and empowered. They can do recycling, waste recycling or waste management. We can take them through the process and help them gain access to knowledge and help them in fighting climate change. Apart from that, they're very simple business. There's a tree nursery establishment and management business. That kind of thing does not require a huge land. They only require small space, but you do them systematically. We can help them pick up this information and help them change their lives. These small innovations, they might appear very small, but the impact is amazing and can really change the lives of our youth. Youth can end up being the employers, not employees of this institution. Since they have a future, if we place them at the right place with the right innovations, they'll go really far.
And I know right now there are youths who are thinking that they're thinking big. If they want to tilt a farm, if they want to use the land to get something from it, they're thinking big of big lands. What would be your advice to them? Because I know there are people who are at the rural setup. There are those who are thinking about the same thing in urban setup. What are some of the available opportunities they can tap into?
Youth, this is the message for you. I know people, and we know clearly that you don't have opportunities. And all the areas you're trying with, all those you experience, nobody is willing to give you a leaf. I'm giving you a secret to success. And as a youth, together you can make it. Form groups. There's power in numbers. When you have small community groups, now at that point, all of you as a team can approach a financial institution and you'll be able to access credits. And together, when you're united, you can be able to form these small groups. And developmental partners will be willing to work with organized groups. They'll not see a youth, but they'll see an organized group who has a vision and a mission of what they want to achieve. Together, you'll be able to move mountains united. You will have a voice.
Thank you, and I don't know. Do you feel like the youths have been given opportunities either by the government or by local institutions towards climate change?
My own experience, I really think that youths are still left behind. First of all, with access to information. Opportunities might be there, but access to this information is really critical. They need to be able to be given information. Information is power. They are lacking access to information. Government might be having very good initiatives, but do they trickle down to the grassroots where these youths are? Some youths who are really passionate about very innovative things are in the villages. But does anybody cares about them? Nobody does. Do they get information? They don't. And now they are missing, not only because that they want, but because there's nobody who is giving them information. There's nobody who is taking them through the process. They might be interested, but is there anybody who is at the grassroots level helping them do this? Let me give you an example. A youth might be interested in dairy farming all the way down in the village. Example, Kochia ward. Now this youth is interested in dairy farming, but do we have the agricultural extension officers at the grassroots level? No, we don't have them. So what do you expect these youth to do? They'll just be fumbling without the right information. And yet they really wish to be empowered to take their future and get hold of what they want at the right time.
Thank you, Anne. And how do you think the non-governmental organization and other organizations within the local setups can come in to help the youths towards, realizing that the climate change issues?
The non-governmental organization, or call it developmental partners, are working with organized groups. That is why I said clearly that youths need to form groups at local level. If they form these groups and have all this documentation with them, they'll be having opportunity to work closely with these people. He will not appear as you, Kelvin, but now they will be an organized group with a clear mission on what they want to do. In that situation, even government institutions will be able to channel support to them. But if they go as an individual, I'm telling you, there's nowhere they are heading. So there is power in numbers. Let us get out there. Let us register. Realign yourself with the right people, and then you'll get the right information. Assume I would really want to come and help you and support you people with the knowledge that I've gained, experience that I have, which is overwhelming. But I cannot leave and come and meet one youth. If you can organize yourself into groups, then even sustainable innovation will come to your village and help you initiate those community-based projects which will have real-time impact. So start by getting yourself for that.
Thank you, Anne, for that. And we want to take a short break. And when we come back, we will be talking about the other. I know that you have farmers that you are working with on the ground, youth farmers.
Yes.
Yes. So when we come back, we'll be tackling that in a short while. So as we take the break, this show is brought to you by Arcteryx Media. You may want to look into their YouTube page, see their content. They are freelance media doing videography audio recordings and professional photographies. You check through their contents on YouTube. They also have an Instagram page at Acterix_media, and you can also check them on Facebook as Acterix Media. Thank you very much. We'll be back in a short break. Welcome back. This is The Future. I'm your host, Kelvin, and we have our guest, Anne. We were talking about climate change and how this relates to the youths. Anne, I know in your program you have youth farmers that you're working with.
Sure, I do.
Kindly tell us something about them.
Thanks so much for bringing me on board. And as I told you that youths have power when they're united. I work with several youths in Homa Bay and Migori County, and I've seen real impacts with the youths. Like now, I have a baby youth group, which is doing amazing job in Homa Bay County, Central California Ward. The Kamser Shoreline Youth Group. This group are a group of youths. They are decided, they found themselves working together after COVID-19. Mm-hmm. These are graduates who just finished their colleges and COVID hit. Mm-hmm. From there, they decided to form a youth group. This group, they are using their knowledge to train other youths on best farming practices. And when we work with them, we try to help them scale up the good things they are doing. They are training others doing transport in farming practices. They are doing tomatoes farming. They are doing horticulture, and they're supplying the local schools. So when we meet such kind of youths, we nurture such kind of energy, and we empower them, give them linkages, and show them what they really need to do, and help them scale up their work. So that's a very, very innovative youth group, because it's really hard, fresh graduates forming a group, to use their knowledge to empower community members, not without any pay. They're even doing extension service in their group. So I really, really cherish that group. And I really wish that other youths can emulate what they're doing. That is just but one. In other words, I have youths who are doing herb farming. I have youths doing aquaculture. And they've really embraced this and taking this to the next level. But they have used the power of unity. If you want to learn, just be together, and we can even take you to see the impact those youths are having in their environment.
Thank you so much, Anne. You've talked about learning, and I wanted to ask, how do the youths integrate digital media in terms of how they get information?
Like now, I told you the case of this group of the young boys in Kamser Shoreline. Mm. Whatever they're using, like now their case, they're doing a lot of online search. But apart from that, those guys, most of them are graduates who have decided to bring their knowledge on the ground. They're using the WhatsApp group, they're using the YouTube to get the information. Actually, some always reach out to me for technical knowledge and extension services to see how I can be able to advise. If it is something that I cannot be able to do, I have networks, so people who can help me solve their problem. So that is how they've been able to deliver. They have phones which they're using on WhatsApp or YouTube. They're using their status to market their produce. So that is the level they've been able to use at the moment. But I wish that we can get more support for them to leverage on how they can use digital media to help them scale up their work.
Thank you, Anne. We've talked about, we've talked about your background check. We've talked about the challenges facing the youth when it comes to climate change. We've talked about solutions, the possible solutions, the possible opportunities. And just in a nutshell, what would you advise the youths now?
My advice to youths is only one. Your future is in your hands. You only have one earth, one environment. Take action. The environment is so harsh. It will take action on you if you don't take climate action now.
Thank you very much, and this is the Future Talk Show. As always, we help you define, shape, and establish a sustainable future. Thank you very much. See you next time.